And we're live.
We are, that's great. Well, guys, what's crack-a-lackin'? Welcome back to another episode of The Northern View, where two low-income idiots express their views on the hardships of generalized bullshit of society. Yeah, that was a lot to take in, so essentially we are going to be talking about a few subjects that I find funny, and just have a good old time. In this episode of Fuckery, we will be talking about our wonderful education system. There was two jokes in that sentence. Now, one was wonderful, the second was the education system. Very, very simple joke, except they're not funny. It leaves no one laughing and just puts our country further down the shit bucket, allowing all the other countries to spread their cheeks and lay a big fat one on our forehead. When it comes to education, our country is actually quite well compared to others, but like any designated shithole, it has its flaws. Except these ones make schools that are breeding grounds for sluts and wannabe Hitler douchebags. Now, just when it comes to the subject, I don't know. It's a touchy one because compared to other countries, we're really not that bad off. But there's things that could be improved that they just couldn't give two shits towards, and it really pisses me off. It grinds my gears. It really does. Now, when I think of the education system in Ontario, the first thing that comes to mind is all the whining the fucking teachers do. Any of you guys in Ontario, think of a time where the teachers weren't whining about something. As a matter of fact, they're better at whining about complete random bullshit than teaching their own fucking subjects. Isn't that a little fucked up? It is to me, buds. The thing I find funny about this is 50% of the time, they have a right to complain, the other half is just for shits and giggles. It's like it's a pastime for them. Screw baseball. Screw hockey. No, this is our new nation's pastime. Complaining about bullshit. Being a consumer and complaining about bullshit. Kind of like what we're doing right now. And when you have teachers that complain about bullshit, children are not going to get the education they need. And what's going to happen in 20 years? Our country is going to be full of douchebags and people on the streets giving handjobs for crack. Don't say I didn't warn you, folks. It's going to happen. Now, actually, a way that we could cure this turd-infested bagel without spreading the shit cream cheese would be to give the children equal rights in the classroom. Now, yeah, everybody says, oh, what the hell? You know, that's already a thing, bud. But no, I'm talking about equal opportunity. Now, who here has been in a class and there's been that goody two-shoes? The kid that always got the best grades, even though you maybe worked harder or just as much as that guy. Just for some reason the teacher didn't like you. It doesn't help that it doesn't help that we have these kids that think that they're so good, so better than everyone else, just because their intelligence is a tad bit higher. Alright. Now, when I'm talking about equal rights, like I said, I'm not talking about race, gender, or who you want to fuck. I'm talking about teachers' pets, brown nosers, the ones that are so far up teachers' asses they know what they had for dinner last night. Whether it be lasagna or a pretty good penny, they know what they had, the sauce, and hell, they even know what brand of wine. It doesn't even help that the teachers' asses are so tight while trying to skull into a diamond. No. These wannabe drill sergeants have no shame in picking favorites. It seems females are usually the favorites in my opinion. Could be because we're all a bunch of dumb males, or it could be that the education system has taken a shit and has failed so many. Both of them are pretty good answers, I'd say. Which brings me to another point: special education.
Oh
That
boy.
that right there is a different fucking subject. Let's take these
Oh
children
boy.
that actually need help and let's give them the easiest goddamn work possible. That really brings the confidence up. Wow, nothing says I feel good about myself than, hey dad, guess what they had me doing in class? Work I did 5 years ago. I'm going to be a great member of society. With any luck, they'll teach me how to man French fryers. God damn it, I hate these guys. They lower these kids' self-esteem so much. Basically make them feel like they actually are retards. Okay? They actually make kids believe that they're stupid. These are the ones that actually need help. and they're giving them and they're giving them work that anyone could do. No. You need to progress, okay? You need to progress, not into a shit spiral, but you also can't conserve the shitty past. Now, if teachers focused on students that actually need help instead of their class sex dolls that they just smack around whenever they want, maybe our country wouldn't be in the gutters eating shit with the rats. Okay? Our education system is a complete fucking joke, except it leaves no one laughing. It just leaves a bunch of shits walking the sidewalks and a bunch of douchebags manning the fryers. Canada! Not exactly the comedy club I want to be in. Only question, can I get a refund? It also works wonders that the guy in charge knows nothing about how education should be ran. Hell, his brother was a coke addict. He would have been a more suitable replacement. At least this guy could admit that he was fucking weird. If this is the best we got, Canada's doomed. I'm not talking about picking up in 20 years and seeing what happens. No, I'm talking about a complete fucking ass fucking. Spreading our cheeks, getting pumped with mayonnaise. Like, we are screwed, man. Like,
Oh
especially
boy.
with COVID. Especially with COVID, man. I fear for the future. I really do. These are the
Same.
best years of our lives, and it's going down the shitter. It's going down faster than a night of Taco Bell. We gotta give that toilet a roll aid.
Oh my god. Leave a senti
Moving on.
around.
Oh god, moving on from
Light a
that shit
match.
stained underwear.
Light a
Moving
match.
on from moving on from that shit stained underwear of a topic, we will now talk about the good old days that weren't really that good. Now, you should have noticed that this had to do with our episode name if it was turned correctly. If not, we'll fix that later. But I hate when people talk about the good old days. You know, back in my day, we used to run around, we used to have fun, we used to actually be away from our phones. Now, I agree with that statement, but man, I like that burp. Anyways, now when we're talking about this, you also have to remember that things do change, and also, yeah, there's cool things about the good old days, but it wasn't sunshines and rainbows. At least not for everybody. Now, can we really blame the older folks for why our world's so fucked up? I mean, yes, we can. Exactly, we can. But they did have a certain way that I do admire. Now, every while and again, don't you wish that parents could beat the fuck out of their bratty kids? We all know the type. We all know the ones. Oh, the type of little bratty kids that cry near their fat parents that just take up too much room. You wish you could just give them a good fucking smack. Then they grow up to be a shit tree. See, when they're small, there's something called a shit apple. A shit apple doesn't fall far from the tree, so eventually it sprouts its own roots and becomes a shit tree. Now, this shit tree then turns into a shit forest. Now, Canada is a quite literal shit infested forest. And all that's happening is the trees are getting thicker and getting harder to cut down. These are the bratty kids. These turn into little rugrats that cry whenever they don't get whatever they want. And then in high school, they turn into the pricks that think what you're wearing on your feet determines your character, determines how cool you are, and determines where you're gonna go in life. That's the kind of mindset that these kids have. Well, I don't know why. They never had a good fucking beating.
Oh my god.
Come
Can I
on,
say something on that?
it turns into a man. Everyone needs a good fucking beating.
Oh my god. Some kids in this generation don't know what it is to have your ass fucking red from doing something that you yourself did not do. To have your ass
Oh
canned
god.
for something you didn't actually do. I
Now the
have
weapon of
had
choice.
my ass fucking tanned
Now,
10 shades red
oh god.
over stuff I had not even done.
Now, see,
Like,
when it comes to
kids
race,
don't know what
now
discipline is.
when it comes to race, the tool of the assault changes. It varies. Latinos they quite favor their flip flop. African Americans they like their they like their fists in their hands. And then I guess the Italians would be using the spoon. But it's all the same result. Now, these families that actually do show discipline, that's where the kids actually aren't gonna grow up to be self entitled cunts. I feel strongly, strongly that we should bring back beating up our kids. I really think that's a good idea. Now, obviously, a kid sense to comedy. I don't think we should beat the fuck out of them. I'm just saying we shouldn't let them grow up to be, like how we are. That's a good way of putting it.
Yeah, we
I,
need.
I I'm 16. Okay, I see this shit all the time. You might be saying, "Oh, you're 16. What the fuck do you know about the world?" But I can tell you, I'm observant. And my generation, we shouldn't allow our generation or the next generation to be like our generation. We should stop that shit before it goes on the assembly line. We should fucking stop it now. See, these shit trees eventually sprout their own leaves. We need to cut down the tree before the leaves sprout. That's another thing that pisses me off. It really does. Women, okay? Women nowadays, they always say, I wish men were as romantic as in the 50s or the 40s. Okay, now, to our fellow guys, and even some women listeners that we might have eventually. Now,
We have one
Grant,
viewer right
shut,
now.
shut up, shut up, shut up, shut up, shut up, shut up. Hold on. This is important. This is an important piece of information I will tell you right now. Alright. So, with the women that say, we wish you were romantic, as back in the 50s, granted, our romance skills may have gone down the toilet like a night at Taco Bell, but at least we don't beat you over the fucking head for not drying the can opener off properly. Alright? Now, I think it's a big step between, oh, this isn't what I was expecting, I was hoping it's more romantic, to, oh my god, why am I in the ICU? Oh, your boyfriend took your head and bashed it in the fridge drawer. Yeah, see, I think there's a big difference. So, yeah, our romantic skills might have kind of flunked more than a kid that never showed up in your class. But then again, the majority of guys nowadays aren't putting your head inside the fridge and repeatedly closing the door as if he's a pissed off monkey on roid rage. So I just really think that some people should take that into consideration. Women, morally, yeah, like it's not as cool as it used to be. Like, don't get me wrong, I enjoy the vibe of the good old days. Some jazz, glasses of rye, fedoras. Everything about the good old days were good, except casual racism, political corruption, severe taxation on our planet, dangerous chemicals being pumped into our ecosystem, the works, famine, poverty. But I mean, all the other stuff is good, right? I don't know, man. Just this shit really pisses me the fuck off. Anyways, that was my main focus. Now we're just gonna have a discussion. So, how about the shit I said? You know, just further analyze it, see if we can get some different opinion on this. Because let's see, let's make it juicy. Let's make it juicy. Anything you want to add, Tony?
Well, aside from being told to shut up, whatever. What happened? Okay, I don't know what happened. He just up and left. Um. Anyways, what I wanted to add just to keep the air clear here on the show, to keep the show on the road a little bit until he comes back. Um, I kind of view that some of these issues are very serious. They're very important, especially with some of the educational system, education sector and whatnot. Everything that is wrong with it. And it appears to me that Austin is back. Hey, Austin, can you say a few words?
Yeah, my phone's being a little bit weird. I think I somehow left.
Yeah, I noticed that. So I was just telling the crowd how a little bit what my views were, and the importance of what you were talking about. But just to fill you in, so essentially, my views around everything you said, yeah, it's really important because with the education system and a couple other things you had also pointed out too, I find very important and very accurate as well. Accurate depictions of just reality. Anyways,
Right.
Anyways, to the point, even with the special education system, how it keeps the children in a downward position. Now
Exactly.
it's
It see
it's
see
not
the
coaching
education
them.
system. Exactly. The education system isn't failing because it's doing exactly what it's designed to do.
Keep the
See, the
poor
education
poor.
system, exactly. The education system is made to make robots for the assembly line. That is your purpose. Unless you have ungodly brain powers, then you're going to be a rich man's toy and make money and get a little bit of extra compensation for your thinking. But if you're not a brown noser that knows everything, well then you're shit out of luck, Chuck. And also about that me saying shut up. Yeah, sorry about that. I meant that in a joking manner. But
Understandable.
do we actually have a viewer now?
Yeah, we do. We have one viewer. Hello. Say something in the comments if you want. I have full view of the chat room, so say hi.
How funny would it be if he just fucking left? He just seen these bunch of losers and like, oh fuck this.
Nah, I think we got some decent content tonight, don't you think?
Oh, I think it's great. I think it's as charismatic as a crackhead in the corner.
So, yeah, and the other points with the government and their knowledge on the education system and the restrictions they put in and different mandations based on the coronavirus pandemic. Um, like, we are going through a lot this generation. This generation of people that are growing up, that are entering into adulthood. This generation, your generation, along with my generation, we're kind of a bit of a both of generations. You're a couple years younger than me and whatnot, so
Right.
you're just a few steps behind my from where I am, so it won't be any time long until you are where I am in life, and that with that we are both facing a challenge here, our generation, the most I find,
Oh
because
hell yeah.
we have to figure out our lives with something that is making every other generation that's still alive on this planet a complete shit show. Like the prosperities, like job prosperities, is really bad, and not even that. The education is just it's dog shit. Let I'm just gonna be
Oh,
honest with you.
that's putting it lightly.
Yeah, no, it's dog shit. Like last year, when it was online school, we were being only here in Ontario in our area. We were from Southern Ontario, and our education package was getting emails and getting Word documents sent to us, and
Oh yes.
we had to learn from what we read. But
You know what made it even
if
worse?
anyone who knows anything about teaching, that there's multiple teaching styles to cater around different learning styles for
Oh,
your student.
that's not all.
It's your job as a teacher to accommodate for your students' learning style. That's a good teacher. And we weren't having that when the pandemic rolled in. It was all being put online, and not everyone had
Too right.
online access. I think that issue is becoming a little curveballed right now because it's so important that internet works for the students. I'm pretty
Now,
sure like cable companies, like their arms are being twisted right now.
oh man, it's hectic. A good way to put it is now back last year, our grades were locked in place. All right, there was no moving them. All right, you could have a roid monkey high on PCP. He wouldn't be able to move that. See, our grades were locked in place. So now you have kids that are still in the mindset of I don't have to do shit. So when you have these kids in the mindset of I don't have to do shit, then when they go to work, they're gonna have the mindset of I don't have to do shit. Then when they have a family, they're gonna have the mindset of I don't have to do shit. So it's kind of like a progressive spiral of complete and utter shit. So I guess we could call it a shitnado, for lack of better words. Uh, See, our education system is a shitnado, and we are the shit torpedoes being flung around, just causing more damage because of the education system. But I'm not going to be a complete prick and just blame the education system. Our generation needs to get their goddamn act together. We know that times are tough, but it doesn't mean that we can be a bunch of douchebags. We know what's coming. Just open up your mouth and eat that turd sandwich. Don't chuck it at the people next to you. Grow a pair of balls. It's the best way for me to put it.
I feel like our youth more than anything needs to learn respect though. Like
Oh yeah, they should have been beat.
some of the
I'm gonna
new
go back.
youth.
I'm gonna go back to that. I'm a big believer in taking out the sandal or your hand or even a fucking ladle. Who gives a shit? Anything that is a blunt instrument. Go ahead.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of that.
Yeah,
Boots
no,
work.
I definitely agree that there's definitely some good points about past styles of old-fashioned parenting. Like I was a child of some form of old-fashioned parenting. Yeah, there some of my parents or whatever or people that were involved in my life did treat me in a modern setting to some degree, but at the same time that I did receive the treatment of old fashioned at some point because it was still somewhat accepted. It has only
Right.
been recently where this has been more like they've been putting their foots down a lot more in society on how we treat our children or what's acceptable. Like things that was acceptable when I was a kid is now becoming unacceptable today. And it's just there's just
Hell,
thing
if
it's
you yell at
like
your child,
it's
you're
beyond
considered a bad parent.
like I remember spanking was okay. Now I'm not even sure if you're allowed to spank. Like I'm pretty sure what you're allowed
Dude,
to do is constrain your child.
it's even worse. Okay, they'll give you shit for yelling at your child now. Psychological harm. That's what they call it.
Like what
You
are
yell at
you
your
gonna do
kids.
to get through to your kid? What are you gonna do?
Well, I guess the best thing to do would be to find a discount Dr.
Not
Phil.
not every kid can just get like a psychologist or whatever, you know what I mean? Like they can't all get a psych. Not every kid is going to be a good kid. That's just common knowledge if you ask me. There's going to be a lot of bad apples and what do you do to get them to see there's consequences for their actions? How do you simulate consequence to them in a meaningful manner that is very relevant to our today's society or to a future that they will be exposed to? Now, I was seeing this video on, I think it was on Facebook. This video from Barry Police. They're arresting a 20-year-old. Now these
Right?
people they are recording the whole situation. Now this Barrie police officer had struck the citizen over the head with their tase gun.
Okay.
Not like hit them on over the head.
All right. My only question: what was happening in the video? What was the assailant doing?
They're saying calm down, don't resist the arrest kind of situation, and
What?
they're
What
screaming
was
get
the
off
guy
me, get off.
doing?
Yeah, that's the thing. We don't know. All I know is that the people from the bystanders had said in the background that it was a guy that was skateboarding or whatnot. But
Well, see, the only thing is if
now,
for any
here's the
reason,
thing. Here's the thing, though, about this. When I was watching this video, the lady who was recording, she asked him, "How old are you? How old are you?" When this officer is being really rough on this kid, Well, I'm gonna say kid. He's only 20. Okay, like come on, kid in
No,
society. Like you're
we
in
get
your
where you're going
youth
with
and
this.
whatnot. So
Yeah, he's a kid.
yeah,
You
pretty much. You know what I mean? Like he's still young. Come on, he's still whatever. Just let's just face it. He's young and he's just
All
yeah
right, on with it.
yeah. And so the lady was asking him how old he was, and he had enough had enough ability to look over and said, "I'm 20 years old."
Now, the only
He,
thing I have to say about
the
that,
office, he's on the meantime he was yelling, "Get off me! Get off me!" to the officer, but he had enough energy in there for everything, or had enough ability to still look over and say, "I'm 20 years old," and then the officer screaming, get back," or whatever, and then strikes him on the head and shit. Now, this doesn't look good on the officer because how much could he really be resisting if he can turn his fucking head over and say, "I'm 20 years old"? He had enough processing power to think and hear and process what that lady was saying to him. Well, this fucking fat fuck's on top of him. This fat fucking pig that strikes him over the head. Like, come on. If I was in the fucking
right,
crowd, I would have fucking popped that fucking officer right in the head. I would not
all
fucking
right.
watch that
Now,
shit.
now here's the thing, though.
You are there to
Now,
serve, not fucking cause a scene. You're not there to escalate it. This is not a fucking America. Fuck off.
okay, are you done?
Yeah, I'm done.
All right. Now that you've got the roids out of your system, all right, you might want to take some Pepto Bismol. Anyways, so that was a joke. Anyways, so there's a few things. Now, first of all, what was the kid doing before this? Second of all, when an officer tells you to get down, you get down. If you struggle, they're going to fucking rough you up. That's how police work. It's always worked like that. Not saying it's right, just saying that's how they work. Now, essentially,
Okay.
with the way I look at this is if he had enough response to turn over and say, "I'm 20," something's fucking wrong because he should have had his face on the fucking ground with his hands on his head. So I think there's something fucking wrong with that. Not saying that what the officer did was right, but I'm just saying
I'm just saying that
something doesn't make sense. Hold on,
I'm
something doesn't make sense to me.
well, you would have to view this video, Austin.
I've asked what was the guy. Okay, you've watched a video. It's a very
Yes.
simple question. The guy that was being arrested, what was he doing? Like physically?
He was supposedly skateboarding on the street.
He was skateboarding while the officer was on top of him. No, what was he
No,
doing
like
as he was being arrested?
prior time to coming to his arrest, it's suspected that he was skateboarding. Prior to his arrest and everything.
See I get that, but what I'm talking about. Uh, all right. Basically, what I mean is to elaborate. Essentially, when someone's being arrested, there's two ways that they'll be. They'll either be compliant or they won't be. Was he complying or was he putting up a fight?
You could visually see that one of his legs were up and whatnot, and one was down. That might have suggested that he was trying to, I guess, in a sense, yeah, maybe resist the position the officer had
There you go.
desired. However, not in a way or in a way that it was violent towards the officer himself. The officer had used excessive force by uh, like using a blunt object towards a citizen in the means of
That's
gaining
that
control. Uh,
that's their
which,
job.
which,
That's their procedure though.
with the tase gun, smack him over the head with the tase gun. Is that the
It's
idea?
better than it's better than using actually a baton or a gun, yeah.
might as well use his fucking fist.
They do.
I'm
That's
just
one of their methods.
I'm just saying.
I'm not defending him. I'm not saying it's ethically right. I'm just saying to the police, like to the government, they control everything. What he did was to procedure.
I don't know. I just think that for the kids that we're raising for this generation, that that's my age right there. That kid that's being arrested, that's being smucked over the head and being slammed to the ground beyond his own strength capability versus the cop. Like the cop clearly has way more power behind him. The fact that he had to use that amount of force towards a 20-year-old is unacceptable. I'm sorry, you might disagree with me out there. This is a controversial show, but to use that much force against someone saying, get off me, maybe you should. Maybe we should change the way things do work. Maybe have more cops around or something. Yeah, with COVID, blah, 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 blah. Fuck off. Who gives a shit at this point? Everyone's gonna die if the fucking vaccine don't kill us. Let's be real here. Let's be realist. like
Yeah.
have
I see what you're
have
getting at.
more cops around, surround him or whatever.
Now,
Make it if you like. You don't have to use that kind of force on someone. You don't have to fucking strike people. You don't have to
there
hit
was this
them.
one.
There's
There
no
was this one
there's
clip.
no reason to be hitting people, causing violence in society,
You want to hear about a bad cop? I'll tell you about a bad cop. I seen this one video from the States. Want to hear about it? This will
let's hear
piss
it.
you off. All right, so there's this guy. He goes to a hotel, right? Something happens. I don't know what happened prior, but a lot of any American viewer will probably know exactly what I'm talking about. There's this guy in the hallway. A police officer tells him to get down, don't fucking move, or I'll blow your head off. Quote. Now he complies and he puts his hands on his head, and essentially what happened was he put his hands on the ground to like crawl, and he was giving a bunch of commands, and the guy didn't know what the fuck to do, and then the guy just started open firing on him with an AR-15. He was then eventually charged and declared mentally unstable because his AR-15 wasn't scripted with "I'll kill you, fucker" or some shit like that, or "fuck with me and you're dead" or some random shit like that. Something you'd expect from a Republican cop. So pretty much, this guy, this bozo, this clown, he tells this guy to get down, barks a bunch of commands like a wannabe drill sergeant that never made it in the army, and then proceeds to shoot the fuck out of this guy, kind of as if he found his wife cheating on someone. That level of like aggressiveness, just open fire, not just like one or two shots. Even that would be completely unacceptable. I'm talking about bang, 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 bang. I'm talking. This guy got shot the hell up, and it was a big fucking controversy. Then there's also this guy. He is basically in the car, and he just goes to show how dumb American police are. They got a word on like a drug ring or something, right? So the police go in for the arrest, and essentially these cops they go up to the car, and then one of the cop is very perceptive, which did not help them. Seen a gun, and then they open fired. Turns out they got their intel wrong, and they shot the fuck out of their undercover cop. It took them a second to notice, and then they're like, "Oh my god, it's blank." They're like, "Oh my god, I shot you!" Like, "Oh my god!" And then the cop just started crying hysterically. Yeah, I think he's in jail right now. That just goes to show you how fucking dumb they are.
Yeah.
That's the difference between Americans and Canadians. We actually get our fucking intel right. And if there was ever a situation where we didn't, I would say Canada smarten the hell up. That's what I'd say.
I think regardless that Canada should be smartening the hell up in a lot of ways because that
Well,
I
we should have got the clown out of office. He's still running the goddamn ring. I wonder if he's gonna have a juggling act next. Maybe some flaming torches.
who knows?
How about a unicycle? Why not?
Honestly, who knows at this point? Um, anything next you had on your list of things you would like to talk about?
I think I pretty much hit the nail on the head in the beginning
Yeah.
when I talked about my stuff and I talked about the education and the mayonnaise pumping. But I don't know. I really feel as though I really feel as though that we kind of covered pretty much everything I could kind of think of actually.
Sure.
So now I guess it's just whether or not is there anything else you want to discuss or anything else that you maybe just wanted to talk about, even if it's random. This doesn't have to just be political.
Yeah,
In gaming news, uh,
oh,
I forgot my famous gaming news. In gaming news, there's actually not that much really going on. We're still seeing uh, the Frontier came back. The mod I was talking about that got removed for pedophile content. It finally came back. They removed the content. It seems to be going well. Then when it comes to GameStop, I wouldn't advise buying any of their shares right now. It'll just decrease the value at this point. And then when it
actually,
comes,
the Robinhood app for that, they had I'm pretty sure they had stopped letting people buy the stock now. Yeah, it's
fair
like
enough.
I think a lot of people think they're just trying to protect the big assholes on Wall Street.
I don't see why they're making tons of money off this themselves.
Yeah, but I
The
don't
way I
know.
look at it, the way I look at it is basically you have these guys. They're taking like a tad bit off of every share. Now, why would you know what? I can kind of see it in a way. I'm gonna take back. I forget what I was about to say. I can see it. Uh, Other than that, there's just a release of Far Cry 6. Rockstar's still doing the exact same shit, just a different day. Gotta make people pay for this 7-year-old game.
Yeah, I really hate how GTA 5 is nowadays. I really wish there was
Oh,
something
it's
new.
really unrealistic now.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
It
I
used to be
hated it. I
praised
hated it
for
since
its
the day the Mark
realistic.
II came. Since the day the Mark II came out, I couldn't stand it.
I don't know, man. It used to be
It's like
praised
now
for its realistic features.
it's like now they have flying bikes. What the fuck?
Yeah, I don't know. That shit sucks. Like, it's like you try to start out again in the game and whatnot. You want to start fresh, and it's like, man, this is nothing like when I started the first
Oh,
time.
you can be made and still get your ass kicked by one of those. I had the A10, and no matter what I did, even when I used my flares, they just are able to rapid shoot.
Yeah, and there'd be like nothing you can do about it.
Oh no.
It's literally they've given up to the modders by just giving the modders what they've always wanted in one purchase or whatever. Oh, you
Oh yeah,
yeah,
they're basically making us spread your cheeks and get it just by regular people now.
yeah,
Screw modding. They 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 don't need any. They don't even need it anymore. Only
yeah.
thing that sucks is trying to get money in that game is virtually impossible. I still hate people that literally buy money or like fake money with real money. Never understood that. I've always found it a waste. No offense to anyone that's done it. I've done it myself. I did. I have. I've done it myself, and it's just a waste.
Yeah, I don't know. I think the gaming industry is coming to a little bit of a halt right now. Like, I feel like we've over progressed on a lot of things. Probably saturating any creativity of shit. You know, I think. Do you think this is a good moment to wrap up this stream? I feel like we had a good run, but I feel like there's not too much to talk about now. What do you feel? Hello? Alright, guys. Feel like Austin's not there. Perhaps we'll wrap up.
Did you not hear me?
No, you were completely silent.
Oh, well, that's sad. What I said was basically at this point it's beating a dead horse, except it's an hour old.
Yeah, no, we've ran for 38 minutes, half hour. I think that's good.
Yeah, it's a pretty decent episode.
Yeah, we've had a hour and a half before.
I mean, granted, it went from pretty great to then just kind of us blabbing, but you know.
Yeah. Well, it's been good. I I hope to see some more viewers. Thank you for anyone who's stopped in. Uh, Austin was able to tell us his material and give us this awesome show, and I was very thankful to be part of and also part of the discussion. The Northern View is essentially Austin's show here, basically hosted on my channel. So yeah, he's the host, and I guess I'm just a commentator and the operator here for this series
Yeah.
on
Well,
my channel.
what he's trying to say is he's my bitch.
Yeah, I don't
Anyways,
like to
no, no,
think
no, no.
about it that way.
Nah, he's our tech guy. We'll call it that. How about that?
Yeah, I
You're
guess
our
we can say it.
technician slash co-host.
Yeah,
Here,
I don't know.
we'll call you the
I don't
co-host.
know.
I like that better.
I'm just saying that you're more so the host because I'm not really the one here making the material and you're creating the material. I'm just making
You're
everything
making it.
happen.
You're just making everything happen. Yeah.
Anyways, thanks everyone for stopping in. This is me and Austin, uh, well, it's been good. See
It's
you,
been
everyone.
great. See you around.
Yep.